What's up, YouTube? So today I wanted to discuss with you guys a story that was sent to my email from an alleged victim of this reverend. His name is Dr. Paul Lewis. This reverend resides in Brooklyn, New York, but he is from Jamaica, the island Jamaica. And this victim, she wanted to speak to me to get her story out. Basically, she talked about how she met Dr. Paul Lewis and how she has been a victim of Dr. Paul Lewis and his scamming and his witchcraft for many years. And she's working hard to get this story out because she doesn't want to be a victim of his any longer. And so this has been going on for her for a while now. But she also sent me other information about Dr. Paul Lewis and the things that he was accused of before she met him and became one of his victims. This is Dr. Paul Lewis, also known as Reverend Paul Lewis, and he is the founder of Christ Ministries World Healing Center, and also he's a televangelist. If you guys type in Dr. Paul Lewis on YouTube, you will be able to see his televangelist show that he had on TV in the past. This man has been accused of rape in Brooklyn, New York in 2009, and then again in 2009, in June of 2009, he was tried in Jamaica, the island, for an alleged sexual assault and carnal abuse of a 14 and 15-year-old, where he was found not guilty, but DNA suggested otherwise. But he was still found not guilty, and people said that he paid off the jurors, and he also paid for him to not be found guilty in Jamaica. But before I get into the stories, I want you guys to make sure you like my videos, share my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of this tea. And also, I want you guys to head over to my Patreon account. It's patreon.com/royaltyblog, where I will be putting more information about Dr. Paul Lewis out on that website, because I can't talk about certain things here on YouTube because it's against the channel policies. And also, this story is going to be at least 2 to 3 videos. I'm not sure. But I want you guys to make sure you tap that notification bell so that you guys can make sure you get the next videos that I put out on Dr. Paul Lewis. So you guys, the subscriber who wrote into me and wanted me to tell her story, she's actually from Jamaica. She's not from here where we are. But basically, um, the reason why I wanted to do 2 to 3 videos is because there's a lot to talk about, and I want to save her specific story for last because there's so much in her story that we have to talk about. So you guys, after I got this email from the victim, one of the victims of Dr. Paul Lewis, I decided to Google this man. And basically, during me Googling him, I found out some things that people had to say about him regarding his actions when he's with these young women. Um, this is basically an article that happened before he was accused in Jamaica for touching young women. So, this is a 19-year-old Brooklyn woman who filed a complaint claiming that Lewis, her former pastor, had raped her in a parking lot nearly a year before. The teen returned to police a few days later to recant the allegations, claiming she and the pastor had a consensual sexual relationship. The young woman said that she wanted to end the romance and concocted the allegation. The case was closed and no charges were filed against Dr. Paul Lewis. As I continued to dig around for more information on Dr. Paul Lewis, this is how I found out that he was a televangelist, that he had a church in Brooklyn, New York, but he is originally from Jamaica, the island. But one of these people decided to leave a comment by the name Brooklyn, and she basically said that this man needs to step down from the church and work on his own self. He has an eye for young girls and will try to get with them by any means. Whatever happened to him and his ex-wife? This man is truly just nasty. He tried to pursue me thinking that I was interested in his old self. By the way, I am 30 years younger than he is. He is extremely creepy. He would just randomly touch me when he was around me. I never made him feel that I was interested in him. This man is just nasty. So the reason that I am going back and reading about Dr. Paul Lewis to you guys is because it's going to coincide with what the victim wrote me about Dr. Paul Lewis and her struggles with dealing with this man. A lot of people on the internet did say that this man was sick and that he really had a thing for younger women. And I also mentioned in the beginning of the video that the victim claimed that Dr. Paul Lewis practices witchcraft, which if you guys go to Dr. Paul Lewis's website, which is paulministries.com, you will see him say that he had healing powers and that if you bought his miracle soap, things could happen for you. Basically, good things can happen for you. Basically, like the other televangelist, Peter Popoff, when you guys know that he was sending you guys $1 in the mail or send you this miracle healing water claiming that it will heal you or that it'll make you rich and all of these type of things. Shortly after the 19-year-old girl from Brooklyn, New York went to the police and then she recanted her story saying that her and Dr. Paul Lewis consensually had sex together. There was a case in Jamaica in June of 2019 where he was accused and tried in court for a case of carnal abuse and sexual assault of minors in Jamaica. So I do have a video of what happened in Jamaica for you guys. I want you guys to check it out. Check out the video and I'll be right back.
Thanks so much for staying with us. We now bring you the details of our lead story. Since the not guilty verdict was returned in the case involving Reverend Paul Lewis, there have been questions in some quarters. Kalila Enriquez tells us more.
There was a man, my God, was supposed to sentence to go to jail. And my God, he took the soap and he washed himself with the soap, stand before the judge, and every charge was dropped.
International televangelist Paul Lewis in less controversial times imploring people to order his miracle olive oil soap. A few years later, he was the one facing charges, though this week an acquittal on carnal abuse and indecent assault, allegations that he'd had sex with a 15-year-old girl in Westmoreland in 2009, and that he kissed and fondled a 14-year-old girl. But on Monday, a 7-member jury returned with the unanimous verdict, not guilty. The case was heard in camera, meaning the public was not privy to the witnesses' testimony and additional evidence. But CVM News has acquired stunning DNA evidence that in the view of some will raise serious questions about the verdict. This is a copy of the DNA evidence prepared here at the Forensic Science Laboratory and presented in the case. The conclusion reads, the DNA profile obtained from semen stains found on panties allegedly taken from the complainant matched the DNA profile obtained from the accused, Paul Lewis. The probability of the match, 1 in 37,600,000,000,000. According to the forensic analyst, that's the chance of finding someone else in the human population with the same DNA profile. So with less than 7 billion people on planet Earth, it's virtually impossible that the DNA found on the underwear and in the vaginal and cervical swabs of the teen belonged to someone other than Paul Lewis. So how was he acquitted?
That the Crown mounted a powerful case, and in fact that at the trial the complainants gave evidence which reflected what they had originally said in their statements. We had eyewitness evidence where one complainant purported to have seen the action of the accused in respect of the second complainant, and also there was DNA evidence.
The Director of Public Prosecutions says the Crown can only present the best facts available to them, and in the face of compelling evidence, it's ultimately up to the jury to decide whether or not they believe a person is guilty. Despite the scientific evidence in this case, at the end of the day, the decision comes down to human rationale.
You are dealing with human beings. when you're dealing with jurors and when you're dealing with witnesses. None of the parties to this matter none of them are automatons.
But the DPP admits there may have been something that could have made a difference. The Crown originally tried to get the case moved from Westmoreland to a different jurisdiction based on a feeling that the media attention could have prejudiced the jury pool. Despite their efforts, however, the defense wanted the case to remain in Westmoreland, and a judge ruled against the prosecution on the matter. In the meantime, the DPP has given instructions for prosecutors to proceed on the perversion of justice case against Reverend Lewis, which will be heard by a judge this time and not a jury. Kalila Enriquez, CVM News.
So as you guys heard in that video, Dr. Paul Lewis, who was the founder of the Christ Ministries World Healing Center, was held without bail on those charges of carnal abuse and indecent assault against a 15-year-old in Jamaica in 2009. So he was arrested that Wednesday after people saw him hanging out with these girls, and then he was on the island for a crusade at a local church, basically like a revival at the local church. And he was accused of offering the girls between $30 and $60 for him to have sex with these girls. Some people allege that Dr. Reverend Paul Lewis paid prosecutors and paid the people on the jury stand to basically not find him guilty of these charges that were brought against him. And some of the people were also wondering, how could he not be found guilty when the DNA that was found on the underage girls was 9.9% matched to his DNA. So after all of this happened in 2009, Reverend Paul Lewis, he is still roaming around. He is still preaching. And so this is where this lady, my subscriber, who is a victim of Dr. Paul Lewis, decided to write in, because it was some things that has happened and has been happening since he was tried in court back in 2009 of these charges that was brought against him, the carnal abuse and the sexual assault. So you guys, we're going to end the video right here because there is a lot more to come, but I just wanted you guys to get a backdrop on Dr. Paul Lewis. And if you guys still have more questions about who he is and what exactly happened with the 14 and 15-year-old girl back in Jamaica, you guys can definitely Google this man. It's a lot of information on Google about him. And I know you guys are probably going to have a lot of questions about the victim who wrote me, but she doesn't want her face and her name out to the public. And I agree with her when it comes to that. But she did forward me her passport just so that I can make sure that she was a real person. I asked the victim in our emails between each other, did she know of any other people who have been assaulted or who is a victim of Paul Lewis? And she basically said that she didn't know of any other victims, but there was a lady in 2016 who wrote an attachment about his disturbing behavior. So in the next video, we will be discussing all of the things that the victim had wrote me pertaining to her meeting Dr. Paul Lewis, and how things have been going since she has met Dr. Paul Lewis. We will also be discussing the claims of him using witchcraft, and also how he actually uses his miracle olive oil soap to basically gain victims. So I want you guys to leave your comments that you have about this video down below. If you have any more questions and concerns about Dr. Paul Lewis, I want you guys to also reach out to me or leave a comment down in the comment section below. And also, you guys, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also head over to my Patreon account so that you guys will be able to see everything that I have on Dr. Paul Lewis, and so you guys will be able to hear about the things that I cannot discuss here on this YouTube channel with you guys. Alright, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.